The following program is brought to you in part by Time Warner Cable and the Madison County School System.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. I'm here with Madison Central's head football coach, Bert Browne.
And I want you to watch Madison Central football on Madison County School Sports Television.
This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net, Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. This program is sponsored by First Gear in downtown Richmond and Pro Signs in Southern Hills Plaza.
Welcome to the Coach Bert Browne Show.
This program is brought to you by L81, a proud sponsor of Madison County School Sports Television. This program is sponsored by First Gear in downtown Richmond and Pro Signs in Southern Hills Plaza.
Welcome back to the Coach Bert Browne Show. I'm Samantha Burford, and with me here today is Coach Bert Browne, head coach of the Madison Central football team, who just had a come-from-behind big win. You gotta be excited.
Yeah, it was exciting. I know it was more exciting for the fans than it was me.
Yeah. Were you nail-biting?
Well, you know, you don't really have a chance as a coach to really get nervous because you're thinking about what you're going to do next and stuff like that. So, but I'm sure it was a great game for both sides, fans to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it was great for our kids. This is the second time this year we've kicked a game winner, and Ben Durham did a great job and put it through the uprights, and our kids just did a great job, and it was exciting.
It was a great way to celebrate and a big ending for senior night. And Ben's a senior, correct? So let's talk about him. I mean, you have to be so excited. I mean, and his parents have to be elated. I mean, what a great kid.
Yeah, he's Ben is an excellent kicker. I think if it was something that he had done for the last 4 or 5 years, he'd probably signed a scholarship somewhere.
But he plays soccer as well, right?
Yeah, and so that's taken a lot of his time away from kicking. But I think that Ben's going to get an opportunity maybe to go somewhere, possibly walk on and hone his skills and be a pretty good kicker for somebody,
right,
because he's done a great job for us, and you know, just it was a big kick. There's no question about that, especially when you're playing Clark County. They're a big rival, and it's a big game. We play for the Milk Jug, and he lined up there and put it through, and I figured that he would.
Yeah. Well, I asked you just a second ago, and we might as well just get to that's what everybody wants to know, is the ending, the pressure. I mean, he really nailed it, and he handled it. You've won both your games by his kick.
Right. Yeah, and I knew going down there, that's what we're going to do. If I felt like if we get in inside the 25,
he could do it.
That Ben could knock it through. So once we got it down there and it was going to be a 27-yarder or 20 or even a 35-yarder, I knew that he would do it. And, you know, people have asked me, well, why didn't you go to the end zone a couple times? Try to take some shots to the end zone. Well, I've got a freshman quarterback.
Well, that was my next question. Did you at all even think about,
Never.
okay, I'm going to go and we're going
Never.
to throw it for a touchdown
Never.
instead of the kick?
Never thought about that. Because
And maybe if the roles were reversed and you had a freshman kicker, maybe.
Well, there was no question we'd be throwing it in the end zone if I had a freshman kicker. But, no, I never even thought about it. You know, it's not to say that Zach isn't a heck of a player, but Zach's a freshman.
Right.
And I wasn't going to put it on his shoulders. I was going to put it on somebody that's been there and done it. And Johan did a great job running the ball. We did a great job blocking and got inside there, and I knew that Ben would knock it down. So I knew our chances were a lot better with Ben kicking it than with relying on a freshman quarterback to try to throw it in the end zone. And I knew, there's why take a chance?
Yeah.
Why take a chance of doing that? So
Yeah.
there wasn't even a thought in my mind about that.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad that, because when I was there, the crowd was smaller. It was freezing outside Friday night, so you had a smaller crowd, and that's such a shame because this game went down to the end.
It was a great game.
It was a great game, but it was cold.
Yeah. It was a great
Less
game.
students, less parents, everybody.
It was a great game, I think, for the people to watch. I mean,
Right.
if you paid $5 to get in that football game, you probably got $25 worth of football. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. I guess for the fans it was. I don't really think about that stuff during the game, but to come down and kick a last-second field goal, if you're on the winning end, it was great.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about the milk jug. I was calling it a barrel, but you started this tradition your first year.
Well, my first year, being a Madison Central grad and hating Clark County.
Who does?
And that's our big rival in football, and it always has been. And I've said it always will be. We'll always be big rivals. And
Now, last week you called them the Battle of the Bridges.
yeah, it's the Battle of the Bridge. Where you cross there down from Boonesboro.
Right there at Boonesboro.
And I called their coach at the time, and I said, "Hey, we need to play for something." It's absolutely ridiculous that I can't believe somebody hadn't thought about this years ago, that we don't play for anything and we're such big rivals. And both these teams over the years, when I was playing, they had our number. Now I think we've got their number. I think we beat them 12 out of 14 times, maybe something like that. But it's kind of one of those deals where it's always a great game, no matter what the records are, except for last year when we beat them pretty soundly. But we beat them 3 years ago, and I think we scored 30 seconds from about 15 yards out, 20 yards out to beat them with about 30 seconds, 25 seconds or something left. So it's always a great game. And so I called him and I said, "Coach, we need to," and he'd been coaching there for quite a bit as an assistant also. So let's play for something. Let's get something going. And I said, "What can we play for? Do we make a trophy up or something?" And we were talking. He said, "I got an idea." He said, "I think there was an old milk jug somewhere that he knew of, and he painted it red because we're both red.
Yes.
And it's beat up and old and." And it's really funny how the kids have kind of taken to that thing. We've got it up in our locker room, and they've kind of, it's kind of one of those deals. And I told our kids, I said, that thing sits on our sideline, and I said, if they beat us, you just get out of the way because they're going to come over here and get it. And I said, and you know what? If you don't want them to come get it, then beat them. And then if you get beat, you get out of the way, and they're going to come sprinting over here and grab that thing, and that's how it is.
And get out of their way.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's good motivation.
Right, and if you don't like it, then don't get beat. But if you get beat, you spread out of the way and you let them come get it, and that's just how it works. That's how that works. And if, like I told him, I said, and again, if you don't like it, do something about it. Win the game.
So that's actually you keep the milk jug in your locker room. They all know it's in a specific place, and
yeah, and we put the score each year on it, and who won, and all that good stuff. So it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's a great rivalry to have, and you know, I just wish that there had been more people at the game and things like that, because it's always, well, with the exception of last year, it's been a pretty dang good football game.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into the first, second quarter, and we'll talk about some players and some seniors that we really need to talk about for the senior night.
All righty.
Okay, we'll be right back with the Coach Bert Browne Show.
This program is sponsored by Jack Burford Chevrolet, right here in Richmond. And by Clayton Homes in Richmond on Big Hill Avenue. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, Madison County EMA.net, Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Coach Bert Browne Show. I'm Samantha Burford, and I don't want to forget to say where we are. We're at Jack Burford Chevrolet. We are so proud of this new floor. I mean, it's really exciting. It's shiny. It's new, and they were really excited to have us and put us on their new floor. And you know, when we come back, we'll probably be somewhere else, and there'll be desks around. But it's shiny. It's pretty exciting. So every week, something new's added. It's exciting. So, but let's get to talking about more football. Let's talk about the seniors.
Well, you know, we got 11 of them, which isn't a big bunch of seniors for 6A. And these guys have stuck it out over 4 years when a lot of their teammates dropped off and didn't have the intestinal fortitude or the want to
I would guess they're
get in there and lift weights and do the things that you need to do. So these guys stuck with it. And
pretty tight group.
Yeah, pretty tight group, and have done a super job this year. You know, one of the things that we've, you know, when you're having a rough season and you're playing a bunch of young kids, one of the things that I'm awful proud of is the way that our kids have practiced and played hard and all those good things. And in the past, you know, you'll have you might have a group that doesn't play as hard. So, but this bunch, man, they just, you know, I get that all the time from coaches mostly, saying, man, your kids play hard. And
with a lot of heart and soul.
And that's that makes me feel good, because that's a direct reflection on their coaching staff. The way that our kids play hard and they practice hard. And, you know, a lot of teams probably would have folded the tents and gone to the house already, and our guys battle every week.
Well, that's what made this win so important. It's so exciting. After the game, I don't even have a football player. I was excited for him. I'm a mom. You got to love it. And you feel for him.
And you do. And, you know, our seniors stepped up and played. You know, we've got several that stepped up and had real good games. And so we've won that jug 3 years in a row. And I told our juniors, you know, we got to make sure that this stays here. So the seniors have done their part, and they've kept it here 3 years. And so, like I told the juniors after the game, I said, it's up to you to keep it right here in our locker room next year.
Well, now the freshmen and sophomores see the importance of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It is.
It's a tradition.
It's a you know, Caleb McClure had 2 huge catches in the game, and did some other good things, and Tyson Gregory and Chris Couch and Ben Durham, of course, knocking that field goal through. And now we're getting back Logan Thomas, who's been out with his knee, and we thought that he was going to be out for the season, and they released him yesterday. And I sit here and name off seniors, but I've got 100 kids to deal with, so it's hard to remember everybody's name at one time. But just so many guys that have contributed this year, from freshmen to seniors.
Yeah.
We've Tyler Connor's another senior that's done a good job for us this year, and
as we keep taping, you'll keep remembering.
Yeah,
more.
And Tyler Rice and Garrett Daly, and just I know I'm gonna leave some guys out, but it's just been one of those years that I'm thankful that our work ethic has really helped us out.
Right. Do you want to talk about the first quarter, second quarter?
Well, the first quarter, the first quarter we take the football down and score, and they take the football down and score, and we take the football back down and score. And,
it's just back and forth the whole game.
Yeah, and one of those things is our defense. I think David does a great job with our defense, but our problem is we're so young defensively, and when you're young defensively, it's kind of hard to hide people because your strength is going to get you at this level. If it was AAA, AA, or Class A, it'd be a little different. I think you can get away with playing some of these younger guys. Mm-hmm. But at our level, playing these 6A schools, when you're playing Lafayette that probably has 2,100, 2,200 students, Henry Clay and all those guys, they can take advantage of you playing some of those younger kids because, naturally, the maturity level, the size level, the strength level, mm-hmm. is going to be different. Yeah. And so that's hurt us this year. It's hurt us defensively. Tackling has hurt us defensively. And, it's not that we don't do tackling drills because, by golly, we do them. It's unbelievable. We really stress tackling. And I was fortunate enough, Cody Kidd told me that his granddad wanted to talk to me, and I called Coach last night, Coach Kidd, talked to him for a while, and he goes, Bert, you got a bunch of young kids out there, and these other teams you're playing are predominantly senior, junior kids, and that's going to happen, mm-hmm. And he said some other things made me feel good. And, Coach, of course, he's Coach Kidd.
I know. That's a phone call you'll probably never forget.
No,
you'll never forget.
Any chance I get to, I talk to Coach. Of course, I coach with him, for him, and learned a lot from him in my short time at Eastern, and just an unbelievable football coach. In my opinion, one of the top 10 football coaches to ever walk this earth, and won 314 games. I think he won 67 at Madison High as a high school coach, and I think he won 67 or 68 in 6 or 7 years at Madison. I think it was 6 mm-hmm. years, and he won 314 at EKU, 2 national championships, 2 runner-up.
So and Sue's standing right there by his side,
And so when Coach Kidd is telling you some things that, when everything else is going bad for you, and Coach Kidd, you talk to that guy who's
such a mentor.
He's a legend, and he's a great coach. And when he tells you things that he thinks you're doing right, it makes you feel pretty good. I feel like, anybody else can say anything, but when coaches tell you that, mm-hmm. that have been there, and especially that man, that meant a lot to me. And I learned quite a bit from Coach Kidd coaching for him. So. Mm-hmm. And he likes our team. He just said, you're young, and kids play hard, and mm-hmm. so and we do. That's one thing. I never have, and I tell the kids this all the time. I don't question their heart and how hard they play. And I get on them. I'm not a rear end patter, and I've never been that way. I'm always going to demand the best and the best that you have, and. I think when you start rewarding for mediocre play or just mediocre things, I think that you don't teach kids what you need to be teaching them to get them ready for life. You want them to play hard all the time and do those things, and that's what our kids have done. and I really appreciate that about them and how hard they've played. And the first quarter, I think our defense is getting better every week. We're when you're talking to our young corners, I'm trying to tell them, hey, when it's 3rd down and 6, they're probably not going to run a go route on you. They're probably going to try to pick up the first down, so they're going to run some medium route. And when you're playing with young kids like that, they really don't understand the game as much. Now, next year they will, and the next year they really will. So,
well, they probably think they understand it.
Oh, yeah.
But being in the live action can be different.
Yeah, and
it can be different.
I think next year we ought to have a pretty good football team. In the following year, I think we ought to have as good a football team as anybody's got. So it's exciting. The work, I think, pays off, is going to pay off. I mean, the off-season stuff that we've done as a coaching staff and the kids have done, and these older guys have done, is going to really help our young guys to learn how to work hard. And so the future's bright, I feel like, for Madison Central football, and I think some great things can happen. But like we're talking about the first half, I mean, it was just one of those deals. Our kids, battled. Johan Williams, they returned a kick to about the 10 or 12 or something, and Johan Williams caught the guy and then, busted his tail to get down there, and we shouldn't have let him get through there, but we did. I was awful proud of him, though.
Yeah. I have to say that when I am down there ready to catch you at halftime, I got down there at about 2 minutes left in the first half, and you guys got the ball back right, like 35 seconds left of the first half. Not one single time did your coaches or your players ever think, okay, there's only 35 seconds left, we're not going to score. They were cheering each other on and hoping and hollering, watch the ball, here it comes, we're going constantly. And the coaches were doing the same thing. And I think that's such a true testament. They were never going, okay, there's only 30 seconds left, let's hurry up and get into the, the talk halftime stuff.
I mean, that's the one thing I don't want. Now, you got to be smart at times, and you can't do anything stupid that's going to hurt you. Right before the half, or at the end of the game, Well,
heard them yelling, we're going to score.
Yeah.
Get out there, we're going to score.
Right, and so.
They never give up.
Right, I mean, that's the thing about them, and I think our seniors have some stuff to do with that. And, and so, just a good group of kids to be around, too. They're fun to be around. I mean, it's not. Like I said last week, anytime you go through a season like this, it's rough to only have won 2 ball games. But it's good to go through with a bunch of good kids. We've got some good kids and some kids that care about each other and love the coaching staff. The coaching staff loves them. And
makes it all worth it.
It does. I mean, it's a one of those deals where you develop some relationships with kids, and you hope that you can help them become men and do the right things, and that's what I think we teach at the high school level more than anywhere, is kind of life lessons about stuff, and that's what we always try to do. I always try to talk to them about those things, and hopefully that'll stick, and good things will happen in the future.
Yeah. Do you have any of your seniors that are like going to try to be walk-ons at any other, or going to try to make teams anywhere for college?
I don't know.
No matter what the level is.
Possibly we'll have.
I didn't know if you had coaches calling you or contacting you.
Possibly we'll have some. I don't know. I think Ben's gonna have a shot maybe to walk on and get his legs stronger and do some things, and so we'll just see how that shakes down.
All right, well, let's take a break, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk about your halftime, and we'll go into the third and fourth quarter, which we've already talked a little bit about the fourth quarter, but that's the best part of the game. We'll talk about it again. All right, we'll be right back.
This program is sponsored by Jack Burford Chevrolet, right here in Richmond. And by Clayton Homes in Richmond on Big Hill Avenue. This program is brought to you by Hopper's Jewelry, off the EKU Bypass in Richmond. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay. CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net. Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond. Richmond Tourism. Time Warner Cable. Madison County Schools. ScenicCabin.com. Faith Created Assembly of God Church. And Tatum Enterprises.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. If you'd like to be one of our advertising sponsors, check out our website or go to our Facebook page. Welcome back to the Coach Bert Browne Show. Now listen, this was such a good game that there wasn't a lot of fans there, and we said that a minute ago. If you did not get to come to the game, it was cold, it's the end of the season, listen, you got to watch it on MadisonCountySchoolSports.com. Perfect. I mean,
yeah.
You don't want to fast forward through anything either, because let me tell you something, it was a good game the entire time. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about halftime and what did you say to keep them motivated to say, you know what, we're going to win this? How are we going to do it?
Well, a lot of what we do at halftime is not as motivational as it is
technique,
deciding, making some changes to this or tweaking that,
right,
or talking about what they're trying to do to us offensively and defensively, and saying, all right, here's what we're going to do to stop this on defense. Here's what we're going to do offensively against what they're doing here. So
when I interviewed you, you were not real happy.
No, I wasn't happy because that last play.
You listed about 10 things that you were not happy with.
No, I mean, we could have done much better, I thought. And so, we talked about that stuff in the locker room at halftime. We get on the grease board and defensively and offensively draw stuff up. And, they tried to do some stuff against one of our sets, one of our formations that we do, and we hurt them. With what they were trying to stop something else. Well, if you'd stop one thing, you might not be able to stop another. So we always try to take advantage of that kind of thing and talk about those things at halftime especially, and talk about that with our kids when they come to the sideline. And so and we took advantage of one thing they were doing to us in the first half, that our kids came over on the sideline and said, hey, Coach, when we do this, they're doing this, and so I got on the grease board and said, well, if they're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we hurt them with it. So halftime is not as much motivational as it is a skull session about here's what we need to do.
Here's what we learned in the first half, and here's how we're going to implement it.
So I thought we came out in the second half, and again, I thought defense played well. We played better than we've played in a long time, and I know that David would like him to play better, of course, and nobody scoring any points, but I feel like we played better defensively. And, when you've got a freshman outside backer and two sophomore corners,
right,
that stuff's gonna hurt you because of just young kids, because they're not as experienced. I mean, that's just pretty simple right there. But we came out in the second half, did some good things, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the touchdowns? Let's talk about those. I mean,
Johan, I thought, had he's rushed for over 200 yards. He's a 1,000-yard rusher now.
He had a great game.
Yeah, he is
was that his biggest yardage
game
of the year?
Yeah, of the year, and
that's what I thought.
And, our offensive line takes great pride in that he's a 1,000-yard rusher. They really like that, and that's a big deal for the O-line because they create the holes to run through, and Johan's got great vision, very intelligent young man, and I will tell you a funny one. And this is a sophomore, and this is kind of things that happens when when you have a bunch of sophomores and freshmen playing. When I called that timeout right before I called the timeout for us to kick a field goal, I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get in this formation. We're going to run this play. And I said, Johan's going to get the ball in the middle field, and I'm going to let the time tick down, and Ben's going to kick the game-winning field goal. And Johan's twice as smart as I am. I mean, very intelligent young man. I think he's got like a 3.8 GPA, and but he's a sophomore. So he, sophomores and freshmen will take what you say as this is it.
This is the gospel.
And so I said, we're going to get the ball in the middle field. Johan's going to run it. We're going to get in the middle field. I'm going to call timeout, and Ben's going to kick the game winner. So I was on my way out of the huddle, and Johan said, wait a minute, Coach. Does that mean you don't want me to score if I can? And I said, yeah, score if you can. But I'm just telling you what we're going to do if you don't.
Right.
So,
He took it very literally.
Very literal. And that's the part of coaching that I think a lot of people don't understand when you're dealing with young kids. They're still learning things.
And he didn't want to disappoint you.
No,
he didn't want to do something wrong.
He wanted to know if I wanted to stop and kill the clock, because he's seen that, I'm sure, in the NFL where they fell down on the 1 yard line or whatever so the clock could run out or whatever. But
aren't you glad he stopped and asked?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
because that could have changed the whole dynamics.
It's better asking than doing the wrong thing. So, and I gave him a little hard time about that, and he laughed, and he's just a great kid. I mean, and like I said, very intelligent young man, and there's great days ahead for him, both football and educational. I mean, he's going to be. Yeah, it'll be
fun to watch him next year. Well, the next 2 years.
Yeah, it will.
So that's going to be great that he's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
So even better. What else do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about the ending again?
Well, it was one of those deals where, we had held them defensively. So we get the ball back. And naturally, we want to run the clock out. So we got a first down, and then our drive stalled, and we weren't successful at running the clock out. We put our defense in a couple bad spots during the game. We let them return a kick inside the 15, and they ended up scoring, which you can't give people short fields, and that's what we did. And that was our special teams' fault. But we tried to run that clock out, and I know that Zach, I made the comment, I said, if Zach had some speed right here, he'd get a first down on this bootleg. Because I told him, I said, if somebody is not wide open, don't throw it. And Zach.
Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, and Zach rolled right out.
We've heard other of those stories.
Yeah. Zach rolled right out there and got a first down. But we weren't unable to run the timeout, had to punt to them. So they go down, and we've got them a couple times on third down, and I think we maybe had them once on fourth and let them get a first down, and they ended up scoring. So we got the ball back with about 2 minutes left, and I didn't have any doubt that we'd be able to take it down and get it in field goal range and kick a field goal.
At least to the 20-25, right?
Yeah, and so, we did. I mean, we got down there. Caleb McClure made a great, unbelievable catch. Zach kind of scrambled out to the right, and Caleb has got a great football mind, and he was running a flat route, and he was sitting down there by the sideline, and when Zach started rolling out, kind of scrambling to the right a little bit, Caleb just shot down the sideline, and Zach threw a great ball to him. He went up and caught it and made a great catch, and I mean, a big, big play. And, that's one of those things that Caleb will remember the rest of his life, and everybody else will. Do you remember in 2013 when Caleb made that catch, when they're 50 years old and fat like me? You
guys still stand, when we go to break, you guys still sit here and talk stories.
You always talk about that stuff, and that's one of those moments that's what's so rewarding as a coach, that the guys can have a moment like that. These guys that are seniors and have stuck it out can beat their arch rival in a big game at the last second and be able to talk about that for the rest of their life. And when we were seniors, we beat them. And when I was a senior, we didn't beat them. And back then, one team went to the playoffs in the district, and they kept us out of the playoffs. And we were the best football team in our district. We beat Laurel County, who was very good. Clark County was down that year. We went over there thinking all we had to do was show up, and they beat us. So this is something that these guys will remember the rest of their life, and it's one of those things as a coach, you know, sometimes I think that people think, you know, my job is not to be best friends with my players or everything be rosy and fine all the time. My job is to help these guys be successful and teach them some things about life as we go, and teach them how to work hard. And you know, it's not always fun being the head coach, because you got to get on people because you want the best for them, and that's discipline, and you've got to have that. And I think sometimes people take that the wrong way sometimes, and they think that, you know, you're being mean or whatever. No, I'm hoping that 10 years down the road, when they have a family, that they'll remember some of the things that we've tried to teach them as a coaching staff about discipline and life and things like that.
That's reality.
Yeah, that's reality. And you know, this isn't Little League Baseball where everybody gets a trophy. This is more real life stuff, and I'm extremely happy when we have moments like that they can remember for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about, I'd like to talk about next week. You're off.
Well, yeah, we're off this week, and then
Shouldn't really call it off.
Yeah.
You guys are practicing all week.
Yeah.
Rain,
Yeah.
coldness, the severe rain coming in tomorrow for
Right.
Halloween. Are you going to make them practice tomorrow?
No, we're not practicing tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm giving them the next 2 days off, and we've practiced this week and watched film and all that stuff. And if Bryan Station beats Ballard Friday night the way we figured, and it's like Chinese arithmetic, trying to figure out the tiebreaker system in the HSAA, but we figured that if Bryan Station wins, we play Bryan Station away.
Okay.
If Bryan Station loses, we play Henry Clay away
Okay.
next week, so the 8th of November. So hopefully
And you don't know if that will be home or away?
it'll be away.
Okay, you do know.
Because we finished third, and it'll be
Okay, yes.
whatever happens, that's the second. We play the 2, and so you know, we're excited with whoever we play, and our kids are ready, and they're excited about it.
Yeah. So tell us this week, what are you doing in preparation for all that? Are you doing drills and all the same things
Well,
that you've been doing up until?
We've prepared for both of them, really. I mean, we've seen a little bit of what both of them do.
Do you get new
offensively.
footage, or do you go back and watch the footage
Yeah, I mean,
that you already have?
we've got several games on them, on both
Okay.
teams, and we watched our game against Henry Clay, and we've broken that down and seen how they did some things against us, against certain formations, things like that. David's watched what they did against us, and
Do you have the players watch that again, or is it just the coaches?
Well, basically
Certain
this
players.
week us.
Okay.
Next week will be our heavy film time, and then
Okay.
of course Friday night after whoever we play, I'll upload the film on the internet to our kids on our Huddle account, and they'll get on there Friday night after everything's said and done, and they'll get all the film we either have on Bryan Station or all the film we have on Henry Clay. So throughout the weekend, they could be watching that stuff, and we can go in there and type notes in, you know, watch this play or watch this guy, see how he does this, and so our kids can get that stuff, and then we'll come in and get after it next week and be excited playing the playoffs, and hopefully we'll have a bunch of people go over there and support us like we always have.
And I would guess you would try to keep it a similar schedule so that they keep
yeah.
a routine next week.
Yeah, football coaches are notorious for routines. We don't like change. You know, anytime you have change and you're not on a routine, then, you know, that kind of throws you off kilter. So I like to stay on a schedule.
Now, what about your JV and the freshman teams?
Freshmen play this coming Saturday at Tate's Creek. They play Henry Clay in the freshman league championship game. So they had a very good year.
Now, do you go to those games too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And so
I knew you did, but
yeah.
I'm just making, you know, I'm trying to ask open-ended questions so that
I don't get to go to
people
all of
sitting
them
at home
away
know.
because I'm working, trying to win a varsity game. And so a lot of times if they're away, I don't get to go because it's a Monday night thing, and
you're coaching.
We're practicing, watching film. I mean, they've probably ended their game on Monday night, and our varsity guys are leaving the locker room, so we don't get a lot of chance to do that. But so anyway,
when will their season be over?
Saturday.
Okay, so that is the last game.
Yeah, that's
for
their
them.
last game. So we're doing all that stuff, and then like I say, Friday night we'll find out who we're going to play, and then we'll upload all that film and let them. I've talked to them already. You need to get over. I'll be over there Sunday working. I know that the Richmond Little League football program has their Super Bowl at Madison Central Sunday afternoon, and so I think they've got 3 or 4 games over there Sunday starting at 12:30. And I'm going to be over there, and a lot of our coaches will be over there working, breaking down whoever we play. Of course, we've broken down a lot of that stuff, but I told the kids, you can come over. I'll be here most all of the day, and I'll set you up and you can watch film here. But I've already told them, get together Saturday morning, Saturday night, and go over to each other's house or whatever and get on that internet and watch film on whoever we play, and let's
instead of getting on there and playing those games, get on there
let's
and
make us a
watch
run
film.
and have some fun.
Yeah. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Did we want to talk about? We talked about we got to have the fans come on over.
Yeah.
Not this Friday night, the next Friday night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
So we want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
We're very excited. What a big game. We're happy to have been there. We want to thank you for being on our show again. Your show, but I do want to remind everyone that if you didn't get to watch this past game or any of the games, you can go on Madison Central's Facebook page. The football team has their own Facebook page. Or you can go to MadisonCountySchoolSports.com and you can watch any of the games. They're all right there. If you're unfamiliar with that, go on to YouTube. There's so many different ways to watch our games. So.
And then Time Warner, I think it's on Time Warner also. So, there's a bunch of ways to watch it.
Right. And I know it's cold, so a lot of parents can't get out there.
Well,
but bundle
hopefully
up. It's
that's
going to be
right.
warmer in a couple
Put on
weeks.
4 or 5 layers of clothes.
Yeah, put it on there. You do it, right?
Yeah.
We had our hats on out there
Yeah,
Friday
yeah.
night. So, all right, we want to thank you for watching. We want to thank Jack Burford Chevrolet for being our coach's show sponsor. We appreciate them letting us use their new floor. Don't you feel special?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you, not this Friday, but the next Friday, and then we'll do another coach's show right after that. All right. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County Schools Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter. Or like us on Facebook, MCS TV. And of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube. This program is brought to you by Hopper's Jewelry, off the EKU bypass in Richmond.
Natural hazards can be scary, especially for kids. We count on the adults in our lives to help keep us safe. That's why there's a website that can show you and your family how to prepare for all kinds of hazards. You can learn what to do during disasters, like tornadoes, and how to plan for emergencies, like flash floods. Remember, we're counting on you to keep us safe.
Be aware. Learn how to prepare at MadisonCountyEMA.net.
Another great sponsor for Madison County School Sports Television is Madison HVAC. Visit them at MadisonHVACR.com. By calling Madison HVAC, you always know you'll talk to the owner. Give them a call. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net, Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. This program is sponsored by Jack Burford Chevrolet, right here in Richmond. And by Clayton Homes in Richmond on Big Hill Avenue. Watch our programming online at WKYT.com, your town, Richmond, or watch it at Bria Online at BriaOnline.com. This program sponsored by Madison Drug in Richmond, Town and Country Auto Sales, Richmond, the best little card shop in Richmond, and WWAG Radio. You're watching Madison County School Sports Television, home of the greatest announcers around.
Natural hazards can be scary, especially for kids. We count on the adults in our lives to help keep us safe. That's why there's a website that can show you and your family how to prepare for all kinds of hazards. You can learn what to do if there's an earthquake and how to plan for emergencies, like house or chemical fires. Remember, we're counting on you to keep us safe.
Be aware. Learn how to prepare at MadisonCountyEMA.net.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. I'm here with Madison Central's head football coach, Bert Browne.
And I want you to watch Madison Central football on Madison County School Sports Television.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.